What's up, you guys? Welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to be talking about the new blumhouse horror movie called Imaginary. Now guys, this movie is amazing, right? Said no one ever, because this movie was a pile of hot garbage and just fits right into every other horror movie that came out so far. I mean, the acting, the story, the plot, it was just boring. And the acting just was so inconsistent. It didn't feel like these people are actually acting. They just felt like they got a script and they were like, okay, how do we deliver this line as robotic as possible? And the plot is pretty much what you can expect. It's the same thing. This family moves into this new house, and turns out the child has an imaginary friend. Ooh, we have never seen that before. This movie is 1 hour 45 minutes long, and 1.5 hours, like almost like the last 20 minutes is the only part in this movie where this movie is actually good. And that's because this fucking movie is about to get over. Like that's the only time where I'm just like, oh my god, it's finally happening. This shit's about to be over. And there are several times in the movie where you just think the movie is about to end. I mean, like, it could have ended right there. Okay. I mean, then it just kept going. And then it's like the movie is telling you, like, finally, we're about to end. This is how the story ends. Or is it? The different thing of this movie was somewhat like watchable or like entertaining to some extent. I guess there's like a little like maybe like the last act of like 10 minutes 15 minutes of it was like pretty okay, but everything before that was just absolute garbage. And the movie had like cheap jump scares, which I absolutely hate in horror movies. I feel like jump scares should not be a thing. That's just a thing. Like if anyone's just sitting there like in dead silence and someone just comes and does boo, you are going to just be like, whoa, well, it was not worth it for this shit movie. Jump scares are just a cheap way of it's like a cheap scare tactic, and it's not worth it. There's obviously every horror movie, every single one has to have this teenage angsty character, but this just, and towards the end they realize that they have like sort of character growth, right? But this felt like the character didn't have any fucking growth. It was just the same character, and I was like, man, what a bitch. There's like scenes where the stepmom's like, I know that you're going through a lot. I know that what you're going through, and I'm here to support you. Like, what the fuck? The emotional part of this movie just came out of nowhere. Like, it didn't have any connection to it because you never get attached to these characters. And guys, what can I say? Just leave it down in the comments. When was the last time that you guys saw a blumhouse movie, a blumhouse horror movie that is actually good? Like, this was the same director that made Truth or Dare, and we all know how that ended up. And then that got a lot of negative reviews, and then he made something called like Island, something with Island, I forgot what it was called. That got like, that flopped, that got shit tons of negative reviews, and now he made this. Like, how many bad blumhouse movies do you have to make before they finally say like, all right, man, I think it's just time for you to just stop doing this shit? I'm not sad that I spent the money to see it, because in a way it's like I'm doing a public service, right? I went and watched this movie, and I went through it, and now I get to tell you guys and all my other friends not to waste their money. It's like a sort of public charity that I'm doing, because that's how god awful this movie was. The plot was just stupid. It didn't make any fucking sense. The story was it just makes you want to sleep. Like, it was just boring. Everything in this movie is predictable from start to finish, just like every other blumhouse movie. You know exactly what's going to happen, and you know exactly all the jump scares. When the jump scares are going to happen, everything is there. The cliche fest. And this movie, I would give it like a -5 out of 10. This review might be a little too harsh, but I'm sure that going in, I was expecting it to be exactly what I thought it was going to be, and I got exactly what I thought it was going to be. So yeah, Thanks for watching this video, guys. I would recommend, if you want to check this movie out, just wait till it comes out on streaming or something and just watch it that way. and just let me know in the comments what you guys thought about it, and I'll see you guys in the next one.